scholars, it's good to have you back in class. In today's lesson, we are going to learn about the history of the Igbo people as a non-centralized state in pre-colonial Nigeria. The Igbos occupied the western and the eastern region of the River Niger and the eastern Niger Delta. The Igbos belong to the Kwa group of language. Their origin reveals that they were the original settlers of their present location in Nigeria. The Igbo people form one of the largest ethnic groups in Africa. In today's class, we are going to talk about the origin of the Igbo people, the economy of the Igbo people, and the socio-political organization of the Igbo people in pre-colonial Nigeria. Now, there are more than two versions of the origin of the Igbo people. One version states that the Igbo people migrated from the Middle East, specifically from one of the tribes of Israel. Now, another version states that the Igbo people migrated from Egypt. And then there's a third version, which is referred to as the Inri version. It says that the Igbo people originated and they have continuously inhabited their present location in Nigeria. Now, this version states that in the beginning of the earth was covered with water and no human lived on earth. Now, there's a god called Shuku who created Iri and his family. They could do nothing and they stood on top of the ant hill because of the water. Now, from then, Shuku fed Eri and his family with yam. Now, later on, Shuku gave Eri some yam seed to plant, and Shuku took pity on him and sent him blacksmiths from Mocha, who came with their bellows, and they blew the water until land appeared. Now, Eri then planted the yam seed according to the instructions of Shuku, and afterwards, he had abundance of yam as harvest. The Inring version confirmed that the Igbo people believe in a supreme god called Shuku and who was seen as the creator of man and earth, who demands worship and obedience from his creations. This Inring version of origin also pointed to the following aspects of Igbo culture. One we are going to discuss is the religion, being a part and parcel of Igbo people. Because of the activities their god called Shuku had done for them. Another one is the importance of yam in Igbo culture. Earlier on, I said that Shuku fed Eri yam and also gave him some seed of yam to plant, which he later did, and he got abundance of yam as harvest. The third significance of this version is that the importance of iron working in developing Igbo communities. And the fourth one is that the version suggested that the Igbo people have been living in their present location or their present territory as far as we can remember. And this suggestion is confirmed by archaeology. Many archaeological evidences have shown that the present Igbo location have been inhabited by the Igbo people for over 2,000 years or more. There are archaeological evidence in Igbo-Ukwu, Aroshuku, and several other places in Igbo land. The Igbo people made sophisticated metals such as spears, arrowheads, and swords. They also made iron tools that assisted in the growing of yam, which is their major food. Economically, the Igbo people are highly industrious as farmers and agriculturalists. Now, they're basically farmers. They also had other important works which were trading, ironsmithing, hunting, and native medicine. They also placed perpetual importance on land. The Igbo people farmed various crops such as yam, cassava, plantain, cocoyam, vegetables, spices, maize, and other mainly for consumption. They also tap palm wine, while those in the riverine community take to fishing. They sell their wares in small markets in their locality and outside their domain. Now let's talk about the socio-political organization of the Igbo people. The Igbo people lacked a centralized political structure. They lived in autonomous towns and villages. They were ruled by their elders. Now, although there were some few exceptions where some form of monarchy was practiced over time, for example, in Ogwashuku, in present-day Delta State, and Onitsha, in present-day Anambra State, beginning at some point, but majorly there were three main social groups one must belong to, and these were at the time the family, which is the smallest unit of rulership in Igbo society. We also have the lineage, comprising of a number of related families, and also, which is finally, the village or the town called Obodo. These are the main social group one must belong to in the Igbo society. Now, although there were other political institutions in Igbo land, but these three I've mentioned now are the main social groups one must belong to. Now, the other political institutions in Igbo land include the Ohaneze, the Council of Elders, the Age Grades, Council of Chiefs or the Ozo Society, the Women Association, and the Secret Society. The Ohaneze is the highest gathering of the people in their towns or their villages, and this is the general assembly that comprising of the council of elders, the chiefs, the umuadas, which is the women association, the age groups, and the rest of the people. Such gatherings may be called in times of emergency or to solve issues that concerns the entire village. The next we'll talk about now is the Council of Elders. The Council of Elders is also known as Ndiche or Ndisi, depending on the dialects of the Igbo spoken by the people. The Council of Elders is made up of the male head of each lineage in the family. Each lineage head is called Okpara or Jidofo. The oldest among them presides over their meeting. The authority of the oldest council member borders on customs and tradition, and he does not impose his imposition on the other council members. They usually come to an agreement by mutual consent. The Council of Chiefs or the Ozo title holder. The Ozo title was the highest title of honor which was given to specific individuals in Igbo land. It includes the wealthy and the people of caliber. The position is not hereditary, so once a person that holds such title dies, such position cannot be transferred to his children or his family members. Their roles include settling different disputes among people and rendering valuable advice to family head. The Age Grade Society. The Age Grade Society in Igbo land is also known locally as Ogbo, Otu, or Otu Ebiri, and it was composed of men or women of about the same age. All persons residing within a village or town who are within a few years of each other belong to the same age group, with separate sections for men and for women. It is customary for group to choose a name for which they would be known, and the choice of name depends sometimes on a major event that occurred around the time they formed their group. Now, for instance, if there was a major war at that time, they may be called Ogbuaga, meaning a group formed at the time of war. Each age group appointed the eldest of them as their head. Now, the age grade carry out special duties in the society, such as fetching of water, environmental sanitation, enlisting in the village or the town's army during war, acting as the ninth watchman of the town. Next we'll talk about now is the Women Society. It was also referred to as Umuada. Now, the Women's Society are defined as the powerful daughters in Igbo culture. It is a collective term for all the first daughters. It comprises of women born in the town and those that were married into or outside the village. They are charged with the affairs of women in general, and they ensure that women married into the village from other villages conformed to the norms of that village. The women's society make peace in marriage, having problems within the lineage such that they discipline unfaithful and uncaring wives through severe sanctions, and this is aimed at deterring future wives from misbehaving. The secret societies. Now, in Igbo land, secret society existed just like other traditional societies. There were secret societies that were reserved only for men, strictly for women, and also secret societies for both sex, that's for men and for women. And these secret societies helped to hold and retain certain issues or places in position, such as groups. Now, certain issues are left for those societies to look into and pass their judgment, which nobody dared to contest. A lot of these societies acted in the form of spirits while they are there carrying out their activities in the society. The Igbo people believed in the existence of God generally, but they also believed that God can be approached through lesser gods, and almost all Igbo households have an object or symbol of worship through which they communicate with their ancestors or their she, which is also called their guardian spirit. They also have 4 market days in Igbo land. The Igbo people also celebrate the yam crop as it occupies a very important aspect of their daily life. There is the New Yam festival that is celebrated in all Igbo towns and villages every year, and the office of the chief priest is also an important one. It communicates with the gods and the ancestors of the people through consultations. Events like sacrifices and atonements are done by him on behalf of the people. Right now, with this, we have come to the end of our class for today. Until we meet again in the next class, goodbye and stay safe.